Hello guys, we are back. We are back from holiday. It has been an amazing holiday. It was a long holiday. It was a great holiday and I am so sad to be back. I do not want to go back to work, but oh my God, it was so much fun. We did something every single day. It was exhausting, but so much fun. Now, my original plan when we went on holiday was I was going to have a run almost every single day to try and build up my stamina, build up my confidence and stuff, build up my endurance, because it has been lacking recently. But instead, I only managed one run for the whole holiday because I was not aware that the place that we were going was pure hills. There was not a single spot of flat land across the entire area. It was all hills, every path, everything, up and down, mostly up, which was really annoying. There was very little on the downside and we were actually at the bottom of the hill. So any running I did was all uphill with a very little bit of downhill to get back to where I was. And where I live, it's all flat land. There's very little in terms of hills. There is very little hills at all. So we didn't get a chance to do much running. Even Jason didn't do much running because it was so hilly. I ended up doing one run. I think it was a 6.5 or 7K, something like that, on the Saturday, which really made me realise just how hilly it actually was. That run was exhausting. And after that run, the next day when I was meant to do another run, just a little 4K, my calves, oh my God, my calves were so tight and pulled so badly. I was struggling to walk up these hills, let alone run. And both me and Jason had to make a very brave decision to not continue our running training while on this holiday because we just physically couldn't cope with the hills. There was just too many. Everywhere we walked was uphill. Everywhere we went was uphill. My calves, oh my gosh. Anytime we walked halfway to where the events were or where the things we booked in for were, I would have to stop halfway to give my calves a break because they were so tense and in such pain, so much pain. It was agony to the point where I actually did end up doing a bit of research, like what is causing my calves to be so tight? And apparently it's a multitude of things. One is lack of sleep, which I did have a lot of on holiday because I'm not really very good at sleeping in a bed that's not my own. I always struggle to sleep in a hotel bed or in a holiday bed. Another one is dehydration, which I know for a fact causes the cramps and the tension, and even though I was better at hydrating on holiday, I still wasn't great at it, and we're now back to real life, so I'm going to probably be dehydrated again. Then the third one was lack of strength, which again I know is a big thing for my legs. I have lost a lot of strength in this last year, especially in my lower legs, especially since I started putting on a lot of weight. I say putting on a lot of weight. When I originally started this journey 2-3 years ago, I was like 95 kilograms. I've put on over 10 kilograms since I started this get fit lifestyle, which makes no sense. It's meant to be the other way around. I've put on weight instead of lost weight. Anyway, another one, I can't remember the rest. There's a couple of other things that cause tight calves, including lack of stretching, which we already know I don't do enough of, as well as overexertion. Overexertion of that particular muscle group, which again might be due to the fact that I've been gaining weight, not losing it, and obviously doing the higher miles, higher running. And then on top of that, the fact that I was trying to walk uphill when I'm used to flat land. So there was a lot of things that was stopping me from doing any further runs, specifically because of those hills. My calves were just in pain. But Jason reassured me that it's okay because we still had a very active holiday. We walked everywhere. We were covering anywhere from 10 to 20,000 steps a day up and down hills. It was knackering. We also had at least 1 to 2 activities booked every day, although I am going to have to check my itinerary to let you know exactly what we did. But on Friday, we walked to one of the restaurants and had dinner as a family in one of the restaurants. On the Saturday is when I did my 6 or 7K run, and I also did Pilates with Jason, and we also played golf. We played adventure golf, which was a really lot of fun. We had quite a few laughs on adventure golf. On Sunday, I did line dancing with Jason's mum, which was a lot of fun. We had a good laugh, and we also played American pool in the afternoon, which was really good fun. And we always have a great laugh when we play pool. It's such good fun. It's such a great sport because you never know what's going to happen.
Well, I was going to go for a shower, so I was going to take him in the shower with me.
That's fine. They do need a wash. They've not had a shower in over a week. Monday is known as changeover day because at Center Parcs you can only book in on Mondays and Fridays to try and reduce the amount of cars on the paths to encourage walking and cycling. Because of that, Monday being changeover day, most of the activities are actually closed because most people are leaving or a lot of people are coming in. So me and Jason's mum decided to try doing some pottery painting because we've never done it before and we've always been keen on trying it. So we thought Monday's going to be a good day for it because it's practically the only thing available to book in for, and it's going to be really quiet because a lot of people are not going to be on the site because it's changeover day. And so we went and did some pottery painting, which we thought was going to take us an hour and a half. It actually took us nearly 4 hours. It took a long time. Jace, could you turn that down while I'm recording, please? And we ended up having a really good time. It ended up being a nice little sort of mother-in-law, daughter-in-law sort of bonding moment. And even though me and Jason aren't technically married, we are at this point, legally speaking, common law partners. So she is sort of my mother-in-law in that sense, or at least that's how we see it. So we went and did some pottery painting and had a little bit of a bonding moment, and it was really nice and really sweet, and it was really enjoyable. We got told when we were doing the pottery that the colours would all come out very pastely and very plain coloured and very muted coloured, and then once they went in for the glaze, they would really come out and show their true colour, so to speak. Jason's mum decided to paint a little Highland cow, which was really cute and really sweet, and I ended up going for 2 foxes because me and Jason follow this account called Foxes in Love on Tumblr, who do little comics of basically themselves as a couple and see themselves and now all their friends and family as foxes, and it just sort of reminded me of that. And at the same time I wanted to paint them in mine and Jason's favourite colours, so I painted his fox red and my fox blue. This is what it looked like before the glaze. I genuinely did not know how it was going to turn out. I was hoping it was going to turn out well, but I had no idea exactly how it was going to turn out. I was a bit funny. I tried to do several bits of detailing and shading, and I didn't know if the shading was going to come out well at all. I can honestly say I loved how it came out. Look at it, so cute. Isn't it adorable? It's so adorable. It came out perfectly. It came out so perfectly. Oh, I love it. The only downside though is because I was doing a lot of detailing on the face, I was putting my hand here quite a lot to hold it, and unfortunately I've actually pulled away some of the paintwork on the bottom of Jason's fox, which is something I didn't want to do, but to be honest, it's not that noticeable. It's not that noticeable at all. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And it still looks so pretty. So pretty. I'm so happy with it. I'm so happy with how it turned out. It's just so pretty. So pretty, and I loved it. That is what I ended up doing. Jason's mum's little Highland cow came out really well as well. I don't think it came out quite as she was hoping, but it did come out really, really nicely. It had some lovely mottled colours through its stripes, and it had a lovely little flower crown on top, which made it look very cute. On Tuesday, me, Jason, and Jason's dad all went archery shooting, and we quite enjoy doing field archery when we go to Center Parcs because it's the most challenging of the archery. And Jason and Jason's dad actually used to do field archery competitively, in a sense, or part of a archery group. So they really enjoy it, and it is good fun. For the first time ever, I actually scored over 100 points, which was amazing. I was so proud of that. Jason scored over 200 points, which was ridiculous. I was like, how did you score that high? But he is such a good shot. He is so good, to the point where he was actually giving tips and pointers to, or the other archers or the other people there that were doing the field archery with us, actually asked Jason for tips and pointers to help them shoot better. And after he gave them the tips and pointers, they actually all shot a lot better. Then after field archery, we went for a meal at one of the restaurants, and then played some pool at the sports cafe, which again was a lot of fun. We ended up having a lot of laughs. Pool is always so much fun with Jason's family. And then after that, me and Jason decided to go for a swim, because at every Center Parcs there is a swimming pool or swim paradise thing that you can actually use for free. It's completely free to go in and enjoy the facilities. We went for a swim and had to go on some of the water rides, messed about in some of the pools, like played in the water rapids and shot down the canyon ride and went on the cyclone, and it's a lot of fun. It's very small. There's only so much you can really do there. So it's much better if you go as a group or as a family, so you can interact more and have a bit of a laugh more. But it is nice that you can just go for a swim for free. It is so nice that you can just go for a swim for free. So we went for a swim and then walked home, as well as all the walking we did in between. I think we also went for a walk on, I think it was Monday. It's either Monday or Sunday. We went for a really long walk through the woods. Wednesday was another really busy day. We started off by going aerial tree trekking in the trees, and we got a bit confused. We thought we booked in for the aerial adventure, which is the really, really, really big one that goes 20 foot in the air and goes through and then has a massive zip line line at the end over the lake, and it looks like a lot of fun. I don't actually know if we've done it in the past, but it looks like a lot of fun. And we accidentally booked in for the kiddies version, which is the aerial tree trekking, which doesn't go as high. It goes about 10 feet off the ground, I believe it is. But the obstacles are just as difficult and just as challenging, and the course is a lot smaller, and it's got 3 mini zip lines instead of the great big ones. However, when we actually got there, it turns out we did a good thing by doing the aerial tree trekking instead of the aerial adventure, because when Jason's mum got there, she'd never done it before. I'd done it, Jason's done it, Jason's dad had done something similar before, but Jason's mum had never done it, but she really wanted to try it. And when she got up there, the first couple of obstacles weren't too bad, but when it came to that first zip line where you have to jump off the edge, she, like me, just froze. She froze. She was panicking, she was scared, she was worried, she really badly wanted to turn back. Now the problem is you can't really turn back. Once you're on it, you're on it. You've got people behind you, you've got people in front of you. Trying to turn back is nearly impossible. She had 3 people behind her, including Jason's dad, because he was sent specifically to basically encourage her forward. However, the guys at the Center Parcs, the guys running it, I believe it was Phil and Rob on the day, they were amazing, and Phil did a fantastic job of bringing up Jane's confidence, talking her around, calming her down, and just letting her know it's going to be okay, and actually gave her the confidence to take that first leap and jump off onto the zip line. And she did it. She actually did it, and she said it was so brilliant once she'd actually done it, but that initial fear was terrifying. Again, that's a motto that I've been doing for the last 2-3 years, is the thing you are most afraid of, or the thing that you are afraid of, is probably the thing that's going to actually be fun, make you happy, make you enjoyable. The best things in life really are on the other side of fear. They really are on the other side of fear. She found that. She conquered one of her fears that day, and I'm so proud of her. Then after the aerial tree trekking, me and Jason and I believe his dad went for a swim, because obviously swimming. In fact, no, tell a lie. We went for a swim on Monday. We went for a swim on Tuesday with Jason's dad, but unfortunately we went for a late swim and all the rides were closed, which was the main reason Jason's dad had come with us. And unfortunately all the rides have been closed, and so we didn't get to enjoy the rides that day. But we did go for another swim on Wednesday after the aerial tree trekking. Then we had date night. So Jason's mum and dad went for their date night at one of the restaurants, and me and Jason went to a different restaurant for our date night. And then we started watching Good Omens and basically sat and chilled and watched Good Omens all day. And then finally on our last day, on Thursday, we had to go at the indoor climbing area, which is so much harder than it looks. Like, you look at it and like, oh, that's easy, that's not too hard. It is hard. It is so freaking hard. Jason, the little ninja that he is, was just running up and down them like no tomorrow, but even he was struggling and sweating a lot by the end of it. Jason's dad had a great time. He did a couple of the walls twice, and I think he got to the top of all but one of the ones he tried. I, on the other hand, really struggled. I did get to the top of 3 walls, and then I decided to try the hardest wall there, not realizing it was the hardest wall. It looked very challenging. It looked like one of the hardest walls, and it was essentially a tree with a rope coming down, and you had to climb the tree and then climb the tree house to get to the top. It looked difficult. It looked really difficult because there was no obvious handholds, and there wasn't any obvious handholds. It was also really slippy. If you didn't have good grippy shoes, you slipped off really easily. But I did manage to get 3/4 of the way up. I did manage to do really well. I got 3/4 of the way up before my arms and legs started giving way. My hands especially were giving way. By the time I got down or came down from that tree wall, my hands were shaking, like trembling. I tried it again and got about halfway the second time, then tried a couple of the easier walls, and I was really, really, really struggling. It's like I was doing my best, but my arms and my hands especially, like the grip in my hands was just gone. So I was lucky to get maybe 1/3 of the way up the wall, or the rest of the walls that I tried, to the point where I had to call it a day. And to be fair, I made it to 50 minutes. 50 minutes. I've been climbing for 50 minutes, and the session was just short of an hour. So I did manage to do most of the session. I had been climbing for nearly an hour before I called it a day. And Jason and Jason's dad went all the way up to the end. They did the entire hour. I think they did almost every single wall as well. But yeah, if you ever go Center Parcs and you're an adult and you're looking for something challenging to do, give the indoor climbing wall a go. It is a lot harder than it looks, unless you're a climber, in which case you might find it quite easy. Then we went for our last meal as a family at one of the restaurants, at one of our favourite restaurants. Is it one of our favourite restaurants? Can I call it that? Yeah, it is actually. We had a bit of fun at that restaurant because we were sat waiting for our food for nearly 45 minutes, and then one of the servers came over and was like, "Hi guys, is everything okay?" I was like, "Yeah, we're just waiting for our food. We've been here for nearly 45 minutes now." She's like, "Oh, that's not right. Let me go check on your food. And we had already ordered the food by this point, by the way. She went and checked on the food, and it turned out the server that had done the food hadn't actually sent it through to the kitchen. Apparently there was a button he needed to press to say send, and it didn't get sent through to the kitchen. So she sent it through and pushed it right to the front of the queue to say this needs to be done now. And thankfully we got our food about 5-10 minutes later. So we were very grateful for that, and bless her heart for the delay and the problems. She actually gave us free drinks and free desserts. So I am very grateful for that. We didn't ask for it. We would never ask for anything free or anything on the house or anything. But she very, very, very kindly knocked off our drinks, or one round of drinks, and also our desserts, to say sorry for the mistake and the delay, which was so kind, so kind. And the food was astounding. I had a swordfish steak because I'd never had one before. I do like my fish, and thankfully it was on my list of foods that I could eat because of my lactose allergy. It is a bit difficult to try foods that aren't on the vegan menu, but Center Parcs was so good. They always had a QR code that I could use that would actually say, right, which one are you allergic to? And I would click milk, and then it would bring me up all the foods that contained, or it would grey out all the foods that contained milk or may contain traces of milk, grey them out completely and tell me the other options that I could have that did not contain milk, which I was so grateful for, so freaking grateful for. And it turned out the swordfish steak was one of the ones I could try, so I decided to give it a try, and oh my God, it was so nice. I have never eaten fish that tasted like meat. I know that sounds weird. It tasted like a steak, or like a gammon steak or a beef steak. It tasted like red meat, not like fish. It didn't taste like fish, but it was so good and juicy. Oh, it was so nice. It was so nice. I had mango sorbet for dessert, and I don't know what they put in the mango sorbet, whether or not it was like pure mangoes or whether or not it was like honey, but it was so good and sweet, and it's just, whoa. It was one of the best mango sorbets I've ever had. And then to finish the night off, to finish the holiday off, we went 10-pin bowling and had a blast. It was such a good fun. Usually when we go bowling, Jason is really good. However, on that particular day, me and Jason were joking that we were having a game of Morse code, because when you actually looked at our scores at the end, the amount of misses we had was just ridiculous. I think at one point I missed like 6 bowls in a row, and yet still came out as one of the highest scorers. I don't know how I did that. It was so much fun. And then obviously on Friday we packed away and then did the big journey to come home, picked up Jinx the cat from the cattery, which thankfully was en route, and then I went to pick up my girls from my best friend's house. So we went to pick up the birds. Didn't stay around long because it was already been a busy day, and then headed home. And the plan was to just try and stay home and just wind down, but also wind back up from the holiday. I remembered I had to go pick up the keys from my mum because we left a set of keys with my mother just in case anything happened with the house or she needed to get in for any reason. It turns out my nephew was actually coming home from his holiday. He went away with school on the same day. So I went and picked up my nephew with my mum and had a bit of a catch up with the family before heading back home. So it was a very busy day yesterday. A very busy, very full on, very run aroundy sort of day. And now we are on Saturday, and I'll be honest, I was meant to go on a run this morning, but because I've done so much walking over this holiday, and because I've not slept well at all over this holiday, I had like 1 good night's sleep, and the rest I was tossing and turning and having trouble with my back and my hips because of pressure. Because I've not slept very well, and because I've done so much walking and my calves are still recovering from all that walking, I have not been able to go on my run this morning. I also woke up late because I slept like a log. I slept like a log last night. My body did not want to wake up. So I didn't wake up in time to go for a run this morning, which didn't help. But my calves, even just sat here, my calves are so stiff. So stiff. On top of that, we do actually have a baby shower to go to this afternoon. My best friend is due to give birth in just over a month's time. So some of her other close friends are throwing a baby shower and we have been invited along. We are going to her baby shower this afternoon, and then this evening it's my cousin's 40th birthday party. And then originally tomorrow was going to be a day off, so I was going to do my run tomorrow instead. And I'm still going to try and do my run tomorrow. I need to get up early for it, but I'm going to try and do my run tomorrow. And then my nephew's asked me to take him to Pokemon Club, and one of my clients have asked me to pop over and pick up some carpet that we need to pick up for our new house that they're giving us for free, which is very good of them. But tomorrow is the last day that we can pick it up because they're doing some major house renovations. So if we don't pick it up tomorrow, we can't get it, full stop. So I've got another busy day tomorrow now. I'm still going to try and get my run in. I'm either going to get my run first thing in the morning in before my nephew goes Pokemon Club or wants to go Pokemon Club, or I will get it done in the afternoon after we get back from my clients, which I might do that because then I've got more time and I'm not on time restraint. And it means I would have also had time to sit down in the cafe and chill out and relax. But anyway, that's how my week's been on holiday. Sorry for the very long chat. It was a very, very long chat for this week. And hopefully I will be, or I'll probably actually do it in a separate video because tomorrow, if I do get a chance to go on my run, which I hopefully will, because like I said, I am hoping to do it either after I pick up the car from my client or if I wake up early enough before I go to Pokemon Club with my nephew. Tomorrow, I need to try and run 14K. 14K. I've got a feeling it's going to take me a long while. Anyway, that's next video. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in that one. Bye-bye.